I'm here with James. You know what? I'm feeling a sense of deja vu and frustration. I mean, we went to Fulham last year. We got beaten. Okay, we've gone there this year and it's 1-1, but it still feels like a loss. 2 points dropped, yeah?
Yeah, you're being very polite because this is actually our second time recording it, so I've already had to explain how furious I am.
I didn't want to say.
No, I'll out them. Love you all, but yeah, uh, yeah. I was saying that it's a mixture of I'm mad at the manager, but at the same time we created enough chances to win the game. Therefore, the team kind of I think played well enough to win it. Yeah, I still don't think we played anywhere near our best. We missed big chances, though I actually still thought there were some really good performances out there. Well, not really good. No, actually, I don't really mean that. Some okay performances. But largely, like, nothing was at the level required. Whilst, yes, on another day, we probably did enough to win. I was saying in the first attempt that I'm not one to be bitter about the opposition, but I didn't think Fulham did enough to get a point out of that, if I'm really honest. I don't. I think
Many would agree with you.
Yeah.
Let's start with the team, because I know you had some reservations, as we all did, to be honest. I mean, to be fair to the manager, a number of players out through injury, especially in defence, so he's forced to make some changes. But some people thought he could have been a bit braver, could have been a bit more attacking
Yeah.
in his thoughts. Give us your take on the teams for today.
like I get it. Who the hell am I sitting on a desk to tell Mikel Arteta what he should be doing better? But he just has this thing that I don't understand where he gets certain things like that he's really stubborn about. And Timber left back and Partey right back as a solution, as opposed to turning to the other two left backs on the
It's
bench.
tried and tested.
It's tried and tested, but has it ever really worked for us? I don't think Partey
No,
right
I'm
back.
talking about when he's been forced to play. Are you talking about Timber playing right back and?
Yes, so
Yeah, sorry.
I want Timber right back.
Yes, sorry.
Because of
I-
the dynamic. Yeah. Because of the dynamic that he's built with Erdegaard Saka. We've been significantly better with that. Now, look, I get it. White, Gabriel, Tomiyasu, Zinchenko, Calafiori all out. That is disappointing. I totally understand. I won't go as far as say injury crisis because it's largely in one or two positions.
Well, in terms of defenders,
The defence was like really pulled apart with those 5 players missing. I totally get it. But I don't know why. I don't like to use the word brave because we're talking about a guy, footballers and managers, they put themselves out there, but it's just like, it doesn't feel like a brave decision to basically go, I'll turn to my 33-year-old number 6 and then move the other experienced players around the pitch. When you could go for a left back in Miles Lewis-Skelly, who's 18, he's actually a midfielder converted left back. So Arteta's the one who's actually getting him ready for that position. Or even Kieran Tierney, because quite frankly, at least we know he can do something. He's not a bad footballer, Kieran Tierney. It just feels frustrating to me that he'd rather disrupt the balance to stick with his favourites rather than stick with the balance. And it takes me back to when Erdegaard was missing, so we had to move Havertz basically all the way out to that position. And I just think, why do this to the team? Havertz hasn't rediscovered. He was bad today, Kai Havertz. He hasn't albeit won the header for the equaliser, I get it. He hasn't rediscovered any real threat in the way he had at the start of the season. The guy who opened the scoring against Brighton, in the Brighton draw, 1-1. The guy who scored against PSG. The guy who led the line brilliantly at Tottenham. And at Man City, despite not completing a pass, apparently. I thought, really put himself up. But the minute Erdegaard was gone, and okay, the Tottenham game, he moved him out. And it's just like, it's so frustrating that he's so willing to move players around Mikel Arteta and disrupt the balance when there is someone on the bench we can call to.
Okay, so that's the team. I understand your reservations for the team.
I haven't explained myself very well at all.
No,
This is
I
attempt
understand.
number 2,
Hopefully,
forgive me.
the people watching will get what you're trying to say, but I get it. You think he's been a bit too cautious, so he should have been a bit more adventurous, and I'm with you on that.
Yeah.
Okay, but I think most people would opine that the team he picked today should still be good enough to get the job done. So I want to make that clear. Let's get to the game itself then. Personally, and you will you let me have your thoughts in a minute, obviously. I thought Arsenal made a decent start insofar as, when I say decent start, I mean, initially we put them on the back foot straight away, kind of put our foot in the sand and said, right, we're going to attack you, push Fulham back. Whether they were expecting that, maybe they were, but that's how it seemed to me. But then once we conceded the goal, I think it was on 11 minutes, I think that was Fulham's first and only attack of the first half, it kind of took a little bit of the wind out the sails. We showed a little less confidence. Would you say that there's some truth in that?
Yeah, the first half was a lot of like zipping the ball around, looking quite lively, which, listen, doesn't really count for much. But I mean, I think Arsenal were trying to get into some good, into good rhythm and momentum. But the first goal comes a little bit out of nowhere for Fulham. And I really have to look. I really like Fulham. I thought they defended brilliantly, especially in that first half. Not so much second half. The first half, I thought they defended brilliantly. But they didn't really ask many questions. So frustrating that Kivil gets done by another ball down the channel, like against Liverpool. And I think Saliba could get a block in there, but I do also think Saliba was outstanding outside of that one moment. And then first half sort of huffing and puffing. Second half we came with more answers, but yeah, first half wasn't at a good enough level. And I mean, I was. For all I said about Arteta in the 11, I do think, he'd have every right to say, well, look at the chances we had and look at, the players are the ones that have to put it in the back of the net in the end. And we'll talk about the second half, but I think that more than almost where first half I was looking at going, I feel like Arteta's inflicted this on the team. Not winning the game for me is ultimately on the players.
Yeah, I agree. Listen, we had enough chances to win the game. We weren't at our fluent best by any stretch of the imagination. There were a few players that seemed to be off it today. However, we had a number of chances. I mean, Partey had a really good chance from a set piece that he totally screwed up. But I'm not going to single just him out. You mentioned Havertz. I didn't think
that's twice in a week, though.
Yeah, that is.
Like, those are really good areas. You're basically in front of goal. Yeah. The first one against Man United was a really good area, but I sort of gave him the benefit of the doubt because maybe he saw it late or whatever. And then the one against Fulham, he's got all the space in the world. I don't even know why he's gone for, if he's standing like this, he's gone for that post. I don't know why he hasn't gone back across goal, but whatever. Who am I to
Listen, Partey's had a very good season so far. He's been asked to play right back and left back, and as opposed to his midfield position where he normally plays. And by and large, he's had a good season. But you're right, 2 very good chances in 2 good games. He's a 40 million plus footballer. A chance like that today, he should really be taking it. Right, so the second half, we had a lot of possession, but the cutting edge penetration just wasn't there. Why do you think that was?
In the second half?
Yeah.
I think, to be fair, like, Fulham are a good side. They went and caused City real problems, and there was a reason they put up a lot of wins in the league. They beat Brighton quite convincingly the other day. So Fulham are a good side. So I didn't expect us to litter their goal with chances. I didn't think it would be attack after moment. They're a good side.
But don't you think we created enough chances though to at least score a couple
in the second half?
Yeah.
Yeah, totally. Yeah.
That's my point, really.
Yeah. I mean, so when I look at the problem with Arsenal have this thing where we actually lack so much conviction, a lot of our finishing. They almost makes a good chance not look as good. So that Havertz chance, when Odegaard rolls into him, he gets out of his feet and he sort of scuffs it towards the near post. You kind of look at that and go, could have done better. That's a really good chance. I think a Salah, a Haaland, a De Bruyne, Saka, if you were the one, I think they, more often than not, they'd really punish a team for giving you that space and the chance to get a shot at goal in that area. But Havertz, who I thought was really poor today, didn't do that. I mentioned the Partey header. I was losing it with Martinelli on the watch along. I felt his whole cameo, and listen, I know Trossard wasn't great either, far from it actually. But
I actually thought Trossard was picking up around the time he got brought off, actually. But anyway, I wasn't really complaining at the substitution.
He can be quite greedy, Trossard. We've seen it a few times where he's through on goal and he's sort of trying to make way for the effort. Look, I get it. When he's had the moments he's had, you kind of say, well, let him have a shot. He's a good striker of a ball. But yeah, I wonder if that was part of the reason why he came off. But
and I'm going to say as well, we mentioned Havertz and he didn't have a good game. But then we saw him taken off. Jesus come on. And there's a moment in that game where I've got to say, man, I was quite appalled. There was an opportunity for Jesus to get on the end of something. I don't know what happened, whether there was a disconnect between his brain and his reaction and the rest of his body. But it seemed like he didn't go for it, or some people are saying he bottled it. I'm not saying that, but it was poor, right?
Well, that's why I was saying, we make actually really good chances not even look like chances, because It's actually a really good ball over the top to Jesus, and he's kind of not really, he's kind of pulled out of it. You know, I look at him and think, you're there, go for it. So, you know, I look at that, I look at the Partey one, I look at the Havertz effort, and I think those are 3 really good chances. And the best one was one we actually did put in the back of the net, but Martinelli was offside. And he came on, Martinelli. This is a player who I've defended so much. I always talk about his work rate and the effort he gives and the energy levels, and you know that ultimately he does so much more than just on the ball stuff that we should be crediting, as well as judging what he's doing on the ball, of course. But he came on, showed no trickery, showed no kind of flair or kind of whatever. He had the beating of Tete once or twice. I'll give him that. Tete's a good defender. But then trying a lot of the same things. And then there was a petulance where the ball clearly came off it. We could all see it on the TV. And he's sort of smashing the ball down and he gets a yellow card for it. Then I'm seeing him... sorry, we can hear all this shouting because the Tottenham-Chelsea game was on. But then, you know, to be offside in that position, it's a great ball. We should be talking about a great assist in which you won us the game. And I'm just feeling like this is somewhat... I think I take it more personally because I've defended him so much this season. And I've just sort of, I don't know, got to my end of my tether a little bit with him. But
okay,
yeah, sorry, look, this is probably the worst fan club I've ever done in my life.
No, that's okay.
I just
very quickly, because we got to wrap it up. 2 points dropped. The total hope's gone as well, or is there still some semblance of hope?
Look, if they beat Newcastle the other day, which they very nearly did, it'd still be 9 points, and we'd still be saying, well, we can still chase them and on to the next. So, in theory, you could argue nothing's really changed in a week, but you can't have them, you know, they draw to Newcastle, then you got the chance to close it to 4 points, put a little bit of scoreboard pressure on, and we failed to do that. City have drawn again, Chelsea are here at Tottenham right now. I think Tottenham will get something, but this could age badly. This might be the weekend in which, without kicking a ball, Liverpool won the title, because...
Okay, James, thank you very much.